I'm back, folks. It's Friday, January 10, 2025. Next subject. This is a repeat video, maybe about the 10th time, but there's always lots of new people here. Welcome. We're going to talk about the effects of space radiation, solar radiation, on the inhabitants of planet Earth, specifically to our brains and our hearts, which function off of electrical as well as chemical impulses and signals. And when we're exposed to the highly charged particles of cosmic rays, the secondary showering particles we call muons, our central and autonomic nervous systems, cardiovascular, and other bodily functions can be affected. Now, some people are more sensitive, energy sensitive than others. And there are studies done in the connection between human health and solar activity, and we call this heliobiology. In these studies, what they failed to mention is the fact that our protective magnetic field is destabilizing and weakening. Now, there's different levels or wavelengths of radiation that we're exposed to. From the hard X-ray hits, now that is the bright flash of a solar flare that we see, that traveling at the speed of light takes only 8 minutes to get here, and if that flare is large enough and Earth-directed facing, it can affect us. And then we have the different other levels of radiation, gamma radiation, being brought to us by associated coronal mass ejections, which takes anywhere from 12 to 48 to 72 hours to reach us. So first we're going to cover the neurological effects, that which we can feel. These include headaches and migraines, including those not predisposed to having headaches and migraines. They can be a frontal lobe compression, pressure to temporal stabbing, piercing. You can feel dizziness, vertigo, feeling unwell, sense of disorientation, tinnitus, ringing in the ears, sinus issues, to visual disturbances, joint pains, skin irritations, tingling, burning. Other physiological changes or abnormalities, smoothie time, gastrointestinal issues, multiple sclerosis and arthritic flare-ups, dementia, epileptic seizures, sensitivity to light. It's well known that there's cardiovascular effects. Increased heart rate, tachycardia, palpitations, awareness of the beating of the heart, irregular heartbeat, arrhythmias, blood flow alterations, and cardiac arrests. High blood pressure, of course, plus stress equals strokes. More importantly, the neuropsychological effects, that which makes some of us go cuckoo. Emotional instability with frequent mood swings, irritability, argumentative, easily triggered, impatient, frustrated, anxiety, depression. So emotional fluctuations due to these external energies. When your emotional energy is compromised, it becomes challenging to maintain a balanced, positive outlook at all things in your daily lives. You can have confusion, sadness, worrying, despair, depression. You can have brain fogging or blanking out or racing thoughts. You can feel exhausted and drained, lack of focus. Dreams increase, vivid dreams. Behavioral changes, outbursts, rage, violence. This would include road rage to increase incidence of airline passengers, outbursts, rage. There's increased hospital admissions to psych wards and, unfortunately, suicides. A general lack of motivation to do anything in life. Cognitive deficits or changes. So our cognitive ability, which can be affected, is the ability to learn, memorize, decision-making, creative thinking, speaking, problem-solving, reasoning, focusing, processing information. Now, this can be exacerbated by excessive to fear-based media or negative environments and people bombarding you. And I would also include over-exaggerated fear porn YouTubers, which doesn't help. Another one that I have a lot of personal management experience, mental health. Those with mental health conditions and challenges. This includes ASD, autistic spectrum disorder, autism, ADD, ADHD, OCD, anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, psychosis, outbursts of rage, and intense violence. And I do mean intense violence during geomagnetic storms. So the next question that some of you are going to say, okay, well, what can we do? Knowledge is key. And especially knowing before we're going to have geomagnetic storms or otherwise instabilities of our magnetic field. Plan your day ahead accordingly. Plan for a day of rest. When we know we're going to be impacted by space weather conditions, go for a walk in the forest, go for a swim, read a book, do yoga, etc. Do not initiate discussions that are stressful already. Remember, easily triggered, argumentative. For example, if you were planning on discussing with your spouse, let's say, family finances or whatever, man, hold it off. Avoid hazardous activities such as climbing ladders. Remember, vertigo, dizziness. Please monitor those with heart conditions, high blood pressure, epilepsy, mental health. The next question you're going to ask, well, what materials can help protect us? Lead, which is not practical. There's 3 other materials. Water, concrete, polycarbonate panels. Water, I think the depth was 12 feet. Not practical. Go for a swim anyway. Concrete, if we know we're going to be hit by a massive, severe geomagnetic storm, and if you know you're more sensitive or any one of your family members, seek refuge in a multi-level concrete parkade. I don't necessarily mean go to the very bottom, but go into a parkade where you have several layers of concrete above your head. And then finally, the twin wall polycarbonate panel, such as you see in greenhouses. I always keep a piece here. It's 5 mil, 6 mil. It's been shown and proven that the plastic-based materials will deflect the radiation, especially ultraviolet radiation. So that is the effects of cosmic radiation on us humans, and also animals, pets. Have you noticed in your neighborhoods that darn yappity dogs are just barking a lot more? They, of course, do not know how to interpret what's going on in their brains. So, almost 10 minutes. This is going to conclude this talk. So again, knowledge is key. And also realize it's not always just because we have solar storms. Low pressure systems can also induce some of these conditions as well, especially the headaches, sinuses, and so on. Okay, that's it for now.